not a sister. I am a wall. Just like that, Monica. Think about it. Not today, she breaks me. Woke up this morning and my hands were already moving before my eyes opened. That is how it is in this house. The body learns to serve before the mind learns to refuse. The dough was waiting for me in the kitchen, and so was she. Mama Nkeiruka, my mother, the woman who gave me life and has spent every day since collecting the debt. The kitchen is small. I keep it clean because she inspects it like a military officer. My father was the real officer, Colonel Amara Eze, may his soul rest. But Mama acts like she inherited his rank. Every pot hangs exactly where she wants it. The gas cylinder wears a cover I sewed last Christmas. The floor shines even in the dark. I do these things not out of love, but survival. A clean kitchen is one less thing for her to throw at me. Literally. The dough was stiff this morning. The harmattan is coming and flour behaves differently in dry air. I was working it, folding and pressing, when her voice cut through the wall like a blade. Amara, is that dough rising or are you praying over it? Do you want me to die of hunger in my own house? I did not answer. Answering only prolongs it. I worked faster. The muscles in my arms burned, but that burn is easier than the burn of her words. I have burns on my knuckles too, old ones, from cooking oil that splashed when I was 12 and she was screaming at me about something I cannot even remember. The scars stayed. The memory of what I did wrong did not. I am 28 years old. I look older. Not in wrinkles. My face is still smooth. I still get asked for ID at the market. But in the way I carry myself. Shoulders slightly forward. Head slightly down. The posture of a woman who has learned that standing tall is an invitation to be cut down. I made her tea. 2 sugars. Bread toasted. Butter spread to the edges. If the butter misses a corner, she accuses me of trying to starve her. If the tea is too hot, I am trying to burn her tongue. If it is too cold, I want her to catch a chill and die. There is no correct temperature for tea in this house. There is only the temperature of her mood, and I am supposed to guess it before I walk into her room. I carried the tray to her bedroom, knelt to present it. I always kneel. I stopped fighting that battle years ago, and waited while she inspected my work. She took a sip. Her face twisted like she had swallowed acid. Salt. You put salt in this tea. I did not, Mama. So now I am a liar in my own house. More wicked spirit. After everything I have done for you, you want to poison me with salt? She hurled the teacup. It missed me by inches and shattered against the wall. Hot liquid running down the floral wallpaper my father put up the year before he died. I did not flinch. Flinching makes it worse. She wants to see the damage land. If you deny her that, the storm passes quicker. You see how she wants to kill me? She said, stroking her chest. My own daughter. Just like that Monica I warned you about. That girl who abandoned her mother. Her spirit has entered this house. Monica. I have heard that name more times than I have heard my own. Monica is not a real person to me. She is a warning wrapped in a story. a parable Mama uses to remind me what happens to daughters who leave. According to Mama, Monica's mother did everything for her. Sold her wrappers, begged for school fees, and Monica went to Lagos, married money, forgot her mother entirely, left her to die alone. And now, according to Mama, Monica's own children will do worse to her. The curse of a mother is not a small thing. I picked up the broken pieces with my bare hands. A shard cut my thumb. Blood welled up, a small red bead. I did not wipe it away. I just kept picking up pieces. That is what I do in this house. I pick up pieces. I clean up messes. I absorb the damage so it does not reach my sister. Chidinma, my younger sister. She's 24 now, and she's everything I am not. Bright, loud, careless in the way only the protected can afford to be. She wears ripped jeans and crop tops that would scandalize the church women. She laughs without checking to see who is watching. She has a phone she scrolls constantly, and she goes to university, a real university, not the one that exists only in the letter I keep under my mattress. I was supposed to go to university too. University of Ibadan, medicine, full scholarship. I was 18 and I had done everything right. Passed my exams, applied, waited, prayed. The letter came on a Tuesday. I remember the weight of it in my hands, the way the envelope felt like it contained not just paper, but a future. My future. The one I had worked for since I was old enough to understand that education was the only way out of this compound, away from this woman, into a life where I could breathe without permission. Mama burned it. She struck a match and held it to the corner of the envelope while I watched. She told me I could not go. Her health was failing. She always says her health is failing. It has been failing for 10 years now without ever actually failing. And Chidinma was only 14. Who would take care of the house? Who would take care of her? Chidinma is a child, she said. You want to leave me with a child? After I carried you for 9 months? After I almost died birthing you? This is how you repay me? The paper curled and blackened and turned to ash. I watched it happen. I did not scream. I did not cry. I just sank to my knees in the dirt and watched the harmattan wind scatter what was left of my future across the compound. And I have been on my knees ever since. That was 10 years ago. A decade of serving tea and dodging teacups. A decade of being called ungrateful and wicked and a Monica in waiting. A decade of watching Chidinma grow up, protected from the worst of it, because I put my body between her and Mama's fire. I am not a sister, I told myself. I am a wall. Walls do not complain. Walls do not dream. Walls just stand there and take the beating so the people behind them can live. This morning, after the teacup incident, I was in the living room polishing the center table. I polish it every day. It is never dusty. Mama just needs to see me working. A still daughter is a plotting daughter in her eyes. So I polish wood that already shines, and I wait for the day to pass, and I try not to think about the life I am not living. The gate creaked and Chidinma swept in like a gust of wind. She was complaining about a lecturer who reads slides for 2 hours. I listened without really listening. I was watching her face, the way her eyes sparkle, the way she moves through the world like it has not yet taught her to be afraid. I did that. I gave her that. It is the only thing I am proud of. She stopped when she saw me on my knees. Her face changed. That complicated expression she gets when she catches me in the middle of my servitude. Guilt mixed with frustration, mixed with something that might be love. "You are still polishing the table?" she asked. It was dusty. "It was not dusty. I saw you polish it yesterday and the day before." I did not answer. The rag moved in circles, coconut oil and muscle memory. She offered to help. I told her to focus on school. She said I had school too, once. The words hung in the air between us, sharp and sad. And then Mama called her from the bedroom and she went away. I watched her go. I wanted to call her back. I wanted to tell her everything. But telling her would make it real. And I have spent 10 years convincing myself that none of this is real. It is just a season, I used to tell myself. It will pass. It has to pass. Seasons are supposed to change. Mine never did. Later, I was hanging washing in the compound. Mama's wrappers, Chidima's jeans, my own blouses faded to near transparency. When I heard the gate again, I did not look up. Neighbors come and go. Church sisters, market women, people who orbit Mama's gravity and call it respect. "Amara!" My hands froze. That voice. I have known it since I was 6 years old, and a boy with serious eyes gave me his handkerchief after I scraped my knee outside Standard 4. I have known it in dreams, in what-ifs, in the quiet hours before dawn when I allow myself to imagine a different life. Kelechi. He was standing at the gate, tall and broad, wearing a white shirt with the sleeves rolled up. Behind him was a black SUV that probably cost more than this entire compound. He looked at me the way someone looks at a photograph from childhood. Recognition mixed with grief. "You are still here," he said. It was not a question. It was an accusation, a lament. Where else would I be? Anywhere, everywhere. "You were supposed to be a doctor, Amara. University of Ibadan, full scholarship. I remember." He remembered. Of course he remembered. We had talked about it years ago, sitting on the steps of the community center. We were going to be doctors together. We were going to change the world. Children's dreams, soft and sweet and impossible. Things changed, I said. Mama was sick. She was sick for 1 month. The scholarship held for 3. I checked. I called the university. The words hit me like a physical blow. He checked. He called. He cared enough to find out the truth while I was here, on my knees, convincing myself the truth was whatever Mama said it was. "Why are you here, Kelechi?" He stepped closer. His cologne reached me before his words did. Clean, expensive, the scent of a man who has built the life he planned. "I have a position at Lagoon Hospital, senior resident, my own practice in 5 years. A life, Amara. I am building a life. I need someone to build it with. I always thought it would be you." I looked at him, then at the house behind me, the custard walls, the green shutters, the window behind which my mother was surely listening, cataloguing my sins. "You should go," I said. "Mama will see you. Let her see me. You do not understand." My voice came out fiercer than I intended. "You have never understood. When you leave, I stay. I am the one who faces her. Every word you say, she will make me pay for. Every visit, every glance, every hope, she will take it out of my skin." I was breathing hard now. The washing dripped behind me, forgotten. Kelechi looked at me with something like horror. Not at me, but at the situation, at the cage I was describing, and the fact that I had accepted it. "Then leave with me," he said. "Right now. Get in the car. We will go to the registry. I know people. We can be married by evening." A bitter laugh escaped me. Married. By evening. As if it were that simple. As if I could just walk out of this compound and into a life and not look back. And Chidinma? I asked. Who finishes her school fees? Who cooks Mama's meals? Who takes her abuse so she does not turn it on Chidinma instead? You want me to leave my sister in the fire I have been burning in for 10 years? He had no answer. There was no answer. That is the trap of being the eldest daughter in a Nigerian home. You cannot leave because leaving means someone else takes your place. And the only person left to take your place is the one you have spent your whole life protecting. Silence stretched between us. Then Kelechi pressed something into my palm. A card, stiff and embossed. Lagoon Hospital. His name in golden letters. Think about it, he said. I am not going anywhere this time. He walked back to his car and drove away. I stood in the compound, holding his card, feeling the afternoon sun on my skin and the weight of the house behind me. 2 futures. One I chose, one that chose me. That evening, Mama held court. 3 church sisters came to visit. Sister Ngozi, large and sharp-eyed. Sister Ifoma, thin and nervous. Deaconess Ronke, commanding and loud. They sat on the velvet sofas, fanning themselves with church programs, eating chin-chin and drinking diluted juice I had prepared. Mama was in her element. She loves an audience. She was telling them about Monica again. How Monica's mother did everything, and Monica repaid her with abandonment. The story changes details depending on the audience, but the moral is always the same. A daughter who leaves her mother is cursed. Then her eyes found me. I was serving juice, silent as always, trying to be invisible. Amara, who was that man in the compound this afternoon? The room went still. All eyes on me. I felt like a specimen pinned to a board. An old friend, I said, passing by. An old friend with a big car? An old friend who stands too close? Do you think I am blind? Do you think I do not see what you are planning? I am not planning anything, Mama. Liar! Her voice rose to a pitch I knew well. Just like Monica. You think I don't know? You want to leave me. You want to abandon me to die alone. She clutched her chest and collapsed sideways on the sofa. The classic. The performance I have seen 100 times. The sisters rushed to her, fanning her, calling her name. I did not move. Something in me had shifted. Maybe it was Kelechi's visit. Maybe it was the memory of the scholarship burning. Maybe it was just the accumulation of 10 years of teacups and insults and being called a spirit of ingratitude in my own home. I set down the tray. I walked to where my mother lay, surrounded by fussing women. I took her wrist, checked her pulse. Calm, clinical. I let myself be, for one moment, the doctor I was supposed to become. Your pulse is fine, Mama, I whispered in her ear. You are not dying. You are angry because I spoke to a man. But I am still here. I am always here. And we both know that is what you are really afraid of losing. Her eyes flew open. She stared at me, and for the first time in my life, I saw something in her face that was not anger or control. It was fear. Real fear. The fear of a woman whose entire power structure is built on a daughter who no longer flinches. She recovered quickly. She always does. She turned to the sisters and started complaining about my disrespect. But the shift had happened. Everyone in the room felt it. Something was different. Something was changing. That night in my room, I sat on my bed and opened the tin box I keep hidden under my mattress. Inside, a photograph of my father holding 2 little girls, and the scholarship letter, creased and yellowed, the seal still intact on the corner that escaped the flames. I trace that seal sometimes, like touching a scar. It reminds me that I was not born on my knees. I was born a girl with dreams and a future, and the audacity to believe both belonged to me. There was a knock. Chidinma slipped in, closing the door behind her. She was holding a brown envelope, the nursing school application I had forged in her name, the one I had filled out, written a personal statement for, submitted without telling her. "I found this in my room," she said. "I was going to tell you. You wrote about my passion for patient care. I fainted during biology practical. I have no passion for patient care. I wrote what I thought you would feel if you let yourself feel it." She sat on my bed. In the dim light, she looked younger and older at the same time. We have not sat like this since we were children, and I realized suddenly how much I have missed her. Missed her even though we live in the same house, even though I see her every day. Missed the sister I could have had if I were not so busy being the wall. "Why are you doing this?" she asked. "Because one of us has to get out." "Then you get out. You are the one with the scholarship, the offer from Kelechi. You have so many doors, Amara. You just refuse to walk through them." My voice broke then. I could not hold it anymore. "You think I am a door? I am a wall, Chidinma. I stand between Mama and you so you can go to school, so you can have friends, so you can wear ripped jeans and scroll Instagram and be normal. Do you understand what it costs me to be this wall?" She started to cry. So did I. 2 sisters on a narrow bed, holding each other for the first time in years, mourning things we did not have words for. "I am sorry," she whispered. "Don't be sorry. Be a nurse. Go to Enugu, study, build a life. Come back for me when you are strong enough. And if I am never strong enough, then I will have failed, and I do not plan to fail." I pressed the application into her hands. I had saved the transport fare, the hostel deposit, all of it, hidden in a bank account in her name, funded 3 years of small deductions from the market money, 3 years of planning, 3 years of waiting for the right moment. She stared at me like she was seeing me for the first time. Maybe she was. Maybe I was seeing myself for the first time too. Not as the victim, not as the martyr, but as the strategist, the rescuer, the one who could not save herself, so she would save the only other person who mattered. "You have been planning this for 3 years?" she asked. "I have been planning this since the day Mama burned my university admission letter." We sat there in silence for a while, the weight of those words settling between us. Then she hugged me, tight, fierce, the way she used to when she was small and scared of thunderstorms. I held her back. I did not want to let go. But letting go was the whole point. Letting go was the only gift I had left to give. Later that night, long after Chidinma had gone to her room, I found myself standing outside Mama's door. The light was still on. I could hear her moving around inside, muttering to herself. I pressed my ear to the wood and listened. Not because I wanted to spy, because I needed to understand. She was talking to my father's photograph. I heard her clearly through the crack in the door. "You thought you could leave me, Ifeanyi. You thought the battlefield was an escape, but I collected. Every month I collected what you left behind, and I built this house. I raised these girls. without you. A pause. The sound of a drawer opening, papers rustling. And Amara thinks she can leave too, just like her father. These children do not understand. A mother's love is a chain. It binds, it keeps, it will never, ever let go. A chain. She called her love a chain. Not a gift, not a sacrifice, a chain. She knew exactly what she was doing. She had always known. This was not the helpless clinging of a lonely widow. This was strategy. This was control. This was a woman who had lost her husband and decided she would never lose anything else, even if she had to destroy her daughters to keep them close. I stepped back from the door. My heart was pounding, but my mind was clear. Clearer than it had been in years. I finally understood. I was not fighting love. I was fighting possession. And possession can be broken. 2 weeks later, Chidinma left. She stood in the living room with a single suitcase, dressed practically for once, jeans, a modest top, no oversized earrings. She looked terrified and hopeful and guilty all at once. I gave her the Naira notes. I gave her the driver's number. I gave her the name of the hostel matron in Enugu who was expecting her. "What will you tell her?" she asked. "The truth, eventually, when you are already enrolled, already safe. She cannot reach you there. The school is boarding. The gates are high." We embraced, a real embrace, clumsy and fierce. She clung to me like I was the last solid thing in a world made of water. "Come with me," she whispered. "Please. I have things to finish here. Go, build your life. That is how you repay me." She pulled back and looked at my face, really looked, the way she had that night in my room. "You are not a wall, Amara. You are a bridge. And I am going to cross back over it one day. I promise." Then she walked out. The gate creaked. The car started. And she was gone. My little sister, my life's work, my one success. I stood alone in the living room. My father's photograph watched from the wall. Mama's armchair gaped at me like an open mouth. And then, for the first time in 10 years, I did something I had never done before. I sat in my mother's chair. I did not recline. I did not relax. But I sat. I took up space that was never meant for me. I let my body occupy the seat of power, just for a moment, just to know what it felt like. Then I went to my room. I lay on my bed and stared at the ceiling. In my hand was Kelechi's card, its edges softened by how many times I had touched it. My phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. "I know what you did. Chidinma called me. I will be there tomorrow. Kelechi." I stared at the screen. My thumb hovered over the reply button. Fear, hope, the terrifying possibility of actually choosing myself. I did not reply. Not yet. But I did not delete the message either. For the first time in 10 years, I let myself imagine a tomorrow that belonged to me. Mama did not know yet what I had done. She did not know Chidinma was gone. She did not know that the wall she had spent 10 years building around herself had finally learned how to open a gate. When she found out, and she would find out soon, the storm would come. The worst storm yet. Accusations flying like shrapnel. Guilt wielded like a weapon. Every manipulation she had perfected over decades aimed directly at my heart. But for the first time, I was not afraid of the storm. Because for the first time, I was not facing it alone. Kelechi was coming. Chidinma was free. and somewhere deep inside me, the girl who had once held a university admission letter in her trembling hands was stirring awake. She was remembering what hope felt like. She was remembering that she had never actually died. She had only been sleeping, waiting, conserving her strength for the reckoning that was finally, inevitably, on its way. Mama thought her love was a chain, but chains can be broken, and I had just picked up the hammer. Tomorrow, everything would change. Tomorrow, I would open the door and walk through it. Tomorrow, I would finally become the daughter of tomorrow I was always meant to be. But tonight I sat in the dark, holding a business card and a memory of Ash, and let myself believe that I deserved more than survival. I deserved a life, and I was going to claim it. End of part 1. When you subscribe to Everyday Secret Stories, you become part of a growing community that believes Nigerian family stories matter. But beyond community, your subscription directly supports the creation of more content like Daughters of Tomorrow. What comes next? Part 2 of Daughters of Tomorrow, The Reckoning, premieres next week. In it, Mama will discover Chidima's departure. Kelechi will return to the compound with a proposition that cannot be ignored. Long-buried secrets about Colonel Ifeanyi Eze's death will surface, and Amara will finally face her mother in a confrontation that has been 10 years in the making. Hit the notification bell so you are the first to know when part 2 drops.